Hello, it's January 2026 and we're riding principal route C3a from Charnwood through Belconnen Town Centre into Canberra City. Route C3 is divided into two parts in the middle. We're taking the southern option, which is 18 kilometres and takes about 45 minutes. This map comes from the ACT Active Travel Planning tool. We're following the yellow route east until it joins the red route from the north, C1, and goes south to the city. Some of the yellow routes have been covered. The red covers a route that has not yet been built, and the blue covers the northern option, route C3b. Okay, let's get started. We'll assume we've just driven out of Woolworth supermarket, turn right, and past the medical centre, turning left on the path going down south towards Lotsky Street. Just one C3b roundel, and on the left we're passing the fire station before we turn right. Very soon we'll be turning left to the underpass. If we go straight ahead, we'll continue to the suburb of Dunlop, and then we turn left again, which is heading east on the south side of Ginninderra Drive. Very soon there's a slip road that takes you to a crossing here that goes into Tillyard Drive, and the right hand path is a minor route that takes you down to Kippax shopping centre by a mini kids playground. On the left there's another route, an underpass to Tillyard Drive. You go under the bridge, underpass, and then turn left again. You'll go to the east end of Charnwood from there. Very soon we'll be turning left and going underneath the two underpasses going underneath Ginninderra Drive to the north side. First bit got very pretty rock pool through the middle. And before we turn left here, it's important to slow down a lot because it's a sharp left turn before we turn right and go uphill to come up to the level of the road. If you continue straight ahead just back there, instead of turning right, you head north towards Flynn. You'll see in my shadow occasionally that I seem to be pedalling extraordinarily fast. This is not true. This film is being recorded at about double speed, so that's why my legs look as if they're going up and down like the clappers. That is simply not true. If you want to see how fast I'm actually going, set your YouTube video to about half speed. That gives them a far more honest impression. This bit is very pleasant. There's old stand growth of trees that makes it pleasant and shady as we approach Southern Cross Drive from the west. After going underneath two bridges, I beg your pardon, it's Kingsford Smith Drive, we'll turn right and we'll go to a junction where route C3b going to the north and C3a to the south separate. C3b north goes round to the right, C3a left goes to Belconnen, and straight ahead takes you the footpath to the road traffic junction. And that is the route that goes over the bridge we've just gone under to route C3b. We're heading off left. This path goes for about 100 metres straight, and it goes to a dip, a bridge over a river with trees alongside. We then turn right heading south to go underneath Ginninderra Drive again to the south into the suburb of Florey, which is one suburb to the west of Belconnen. This path now is actually a very old one. It's narrower than the modern accepted standard minimum width for principal cycle routes. Having said that, it's okay for going at say about 25 k's an hour, 20 to 25 k's an hour, about 10 k's slower than you can do on the modern cycle path. It goes around the back of many suburban cul-de-sacs and crescents, and there are many little paths that go in. You'll see I've listed all the ones that have little paths going off to the left. On the right, we're going alongside a drainage ditch when there's major flooding, It has the advantage it keeps the cycle path fairly flat. You work on the assumption if there's major flooding, people won't be riding their bikes very much. It's a win-win. Although it's narrow, this is still a multi-user path. Therefore, the standard rules apply. Cyclists should give way to slower people, primarily pedestrians, but pedestrians should not obstruct you. As you're approaching somebody like this, in this case, ring your bell or make sure they know you're there so they can stay out of your way. And the other thing, of course, is for pedestrians or anyone with a dog, keep them on the leash and make sure they don't leap out in front of push bikes, because that's scary for dogs and push bikes. As you can see, there are many routes heading off left and right to other suburban areas. We're now on the southern side of Florey. We've gone down the west side. There are a couple of slip roads. This first slip goes south and over to Scullin, the next suburb to the south. But you want the second slip lane where it's important to actually turn right, because if you don't, you end up stuck at the cul-de-sac. Whoops, nearly missed it. We go right and go down to this underpass that takes us through the first bit of going underneath Ratcliffe Crescent, the western side of the crescent. We'll pass it again in a little while. See lots of little side passes. A good way for, in the days of yore when people did used to push bike and ride to and from home. An older suburb, that's how it worked. And that's another big underpass going through to Scullin again. Here we come to the other half of Ratcliffe Crescent, which has effectively gone round through most of the centre of Florey. Come out again here. Southern Cross Drive goes further ahead into Belconnen. You can continue going straight ahead here. You go to a desire lane when the path goes left, but if you choose to go that way, you'll be mixing with dual carriageways and heavy traffic and traffic lights and long delays. It's better to actually turn left here, ignore that desire lane, because the extra 170 metres means you have no requirement to stop for traffic lights or traffic, and you can continue all the way at speed to Lake Ginninderra and maintain your speed the whole way. The only downside is there is zero wayfinding signage to show you how to go. Once you've gone under these two bridges, if you know where to go, the best thing is to keep going left-ish. We're looking for a smaller path, white concrete going off to the left soon, pointing forwards. There it is. We head off left here and another left. You need to know where those are. And we're going to take, this is the only road crossing you have. It's not very busy. This is dual carriageway. And we can now continue all the way down to Lake Ginninderra and follow the lakeside path all the way into Belconnen Town Centre. As you said, there's zero wayfinding signage, which is an omission that I'd like to see remedied. Suburbs onto the right. And once we've gone over here, there's a path down there that takes you down to the lakeside edge, and you can ride along the lakeside edge all the way down to the skate park, which is pleasant and a little bit slower. Alternatively, we're taking the built fast route along Emu Bank, just 100 metres inland, with one layer of buildings between us and the lake shore. combination of skate parks, colleges, food outlets, things like that. The whole thing has got a fully separated cycle path, which is fantastic. Cars, as far as I can see, they do notice, stop and give way to bikes. They're licensed, they're responsible. There will, of course, be other bikes and pedestrians crossing. You don't need a driving license to ride a push bike or a pedestrian. People are less attentive, as happens there, and you have to be ready and accept that people are more likely to make mistakes if they're on push bikes or on foot, and make allowances for them. There's one sharp left turn. We're still on Emu Bank and heading towards the city. At the T-junction here, we'll be crossing Aikman Drive, I beg your pardon, and that is the path that comes in from the left into Belconnen from the north, and that's where Route C7, which comes in from Gungahlin, comes into Belconnen. Okay, we're pretty well outside of Belconnen, but on our left now is the University of Canberra up on the hill to the left. We'll be turning left here where the path goes to the right. In front of us is a brand new swimming pool called SISAC, C-S-I-S-A-C, I think, and this is a shortcut that goes behind SISAC for pedestrians and bike riders. Now on the Belconnen side of this hill is predominantly student university accommodation, and on top of the hill is the university proper itself. The far side of SISAC, College Street, is coming in from the right, and we shall gradually come alongside it. It's a gentle uphill of about 2 minutes, I guess. It's the only big-ish uphill going up here. This road takes you into the students' accommodation. As you can see, this is a bike-only route and there's pedestrian-only routes and white concrete alongside for much of this route. It's used in this way probably half to two-thirds of the time, so you can't guarantee that there will be separation. Actually, this route coming from Belconnen and mixing up from C3 and connecting with Route C6 that goes out to Dixon and further on to Dixon College is a high school and university high route. There's lots of students' accommodation and schools and colleges, universities, and it's a big, heavily used, successful route all the way. This is the entrance into the university. The sequence for traffic lights is not always consistent. Occasionally you have to wait some time. Once you cross that crossing at the top of the hill, you do that left-right kink and you're onto this proper cycle-only route that goes gently downhill. Spectacular, great fun. The vegetation on the left tends to creep out and gobble up a bit of the route, but it hasn't been a showstopper so far. We're coming up to Hayden Drive. This whole route has been built all the way from Belconnen. It goes as far as the stadium, Bruce Stadium. And it's been built for a couple of years. Very good design and very successful. They've even put the bike path behind the bus stop and the pedestrian path as well, which is very good. The new suburb of Bruce, which has been built over the past decade or so, mixed density housing, lots of people live there, and there's this active travel route that takes people into the city quickly and conveniently. There's also lots of buses, public transport. There are many viable alternatives to using cars, which is marvellous. And we're now heading east with Bruce suburb to our left, Canberra Institute of Technology to our right. At the end of this route, which is a bit under a kilometre, we'll see Bruce Stadium on our left, ahead of us before we turn left and go round the stadium on our right. That's a wombat crossing. There are 2 or 3 wombat crossing, excellent design. Not only have they got wombat crossing, they actually put them back from the T-junction. There's enough room for vehicles, motor vehicles, to get over the wombat crossing and then stop and turn left or right. As you can see, there is enough room for a bus to stop without obstructing the wombat crossing. Top quality design. Australian Institute of Sport, called AIS, is a wide range of buildings and sporty facilities over to the left of us now. This roundabout is a U-turn. The stadium is ahead of us, and we're heading left with AIS Hall on the left, and the stadium we're following round on the right with this very distinctive pavement on the ground as we go around the stadium. Very soon, route C3b, which has come around to the left of us from the north of Belconnen, will join. It will go straight ahead as we turn right. There's C3b on the left, and now we're joined up together onto route C3 and takes us all the way into the city. In a couple of 2-3 kilometres, we'll meet up with route C1 that goes all the way north to Belconnnen directly from the city. Once we get to the top of that straight route, we head a gentle left, and this cycle path will go underneath the Belconnnen Drive with an underpass, and then we'll head off left. We need to have a quick look to the right for people coming down the hill there to make sure there's no one to crash into. And there's a gentle downhill, huge opportunity for going nice and quickly all the way down. If there is a big game going on at the stadium, you will get many hundreds of people will park at the bottom of this hill and then walk up about a 10-minute walk to save the cost of parking. But that's just fine. And there's a fairly sharp turn here, slow down to about 20 k's for that blind corner. Crossing Kunze Street very soon, which takes you up to Olivio, which is the short-term tourist accommodation for Canberra city centre, the primary place. This is another fast, glorious, gentle downhill, but the left-hand blind turn on a hill just before a junction coming up on the left. It's a good idea to slow down a little bit from here, because occasionally people come up the hill to cut the corner turning right, which can be a little bit scary. The next junction is Miller Street, which does not have a wombat crossing because it has traffic lights on the right, but they are planning to put a wombat crossing a few tens of metres off to the left and rejoin just down here in a year or two when they have the money to do so. Sounds like a good idea. We're running parallel to MacArthur Avenue, going from Belconnen eastwards toward the ABC studios on Northbourne Avenue, just 100 or so metres to the north of it. Very pretty area. This is a very minor drain for rainwater coming down from Bruce Ridge. Sullivan's Creek is a lot bigger and busier. There's not much traffic there. Okay, the church and the primary school coming up on the right. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is often very busy with kids, schools, and particularly cars taking kids home. Particularly on the exit, the first exit out, is worth being careful there. This is Sullivan's Creek coming up on the left, and we'll soon be turning left to go over it, and very soon after that we will be joining Route C1 coming in from the north, from Gungahlin, just at this bridge, and we shall turn right and continue together in a conjoined fashion all the way down into the city. Very occasionally in heavy flood, this area does get moist and occasionally flooded. But mind you, when it gets that wet, who'd want to be riding at all in the first place? The next bridge or road we'll be crossing is Condamine Street, and we're going to stop for a moment because the bridge on the right has some very nice street art to have a quick look at. Here's on the far side the snake that's been painted in, and on the other side somebody done a mosaic graffiti of Snoopy. Isn't that sweet? Okay, let's continue. From here you can see a short wide park called Hague Park, and you can see from here the wombat crossing at the far side, and the van is stopping for both pedestrians and cyclists to cross to get to the other side. Sullivan's Creek is getting bigger on the right, and in a minute you'll see the temporary bus park on the right where they wait in between jobs, and we head off left across Watson Street and approaching Barry Drive, which is the main entrance to the city from the west, crossing to the north. Australian National University, ANU, is on the right. We shall turn right here and come down Marcus Clark Street for just a couple of hundred metres, and the next junction is Rudd Street, not named after Kevin, on the left, and on the right is Rimmer Street, probably is named after the android from Red Dwarf. Not that I'm obsessive or anything. Thank you very much. Cheerio.